All right, this is an introduction to a pretty spectacular property. Outlined in red here, this is 10 acres, slightly over 10 acres, with over 400 feet of direct frontage on the Niangua River in Dallas County, Missouri. So not only does this have an immense amount of river frontage, 400 feet of direct frontage, the Niangua River is one of the most popular rivers in Missouri, and this particular section is within the 12-mile White Ribbon Trout Fishing section on the Niangua River. So you can literally fish for rainbow trout and brown trout from your own property, which is unbelievably spectacular. um, this is in a small private area called Riverside at the Niangua. This is track 2. It has, like I said, over 400 feet of frontage on the north side. If you go back to the south, it borders Marigold Drive for about 110 feet on the south. So it gets progressively wider as you go toward the water, which I'm told is what people like on waterfront properties. And then by the time you get to the water, it's the widest, and you have all that frontage to play with. We try to keep these videos really short. I mean, ideally 2 or 3 minutes. I totally understand that, but there's so much to look at on this one. I'm just going to speak quickly and try to keep it as brief as possible, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's start by just zooming out a little bit. Here's the property in red. The yellow lines are road easements. If you look to the south here, about half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile to the south, this is the Barclay Conservation Area. And this is several hundred acres of conservation land that's open to the public that you can use and enjoy. There is at least one amazing access point to the river right here. It's basically pull right down here on a beautiful road. There's a parking spot right by the water, big, wide, gentle slope into the water where you can put your canoe or your kayak or your raft in, and you can literally do a float, a nice little float right down to your property, take out your boat or your raft right on your property at your campsite. Pretty tough to beat that. Now let's do this. Let's just go, we'll start way out, and then we'll zoom in from there, and we'll end up right at the property, getting a good close look at it. So as we look, what the heck, let's zoom way out. So about in the center of the map is the property. South central Missouri, good heart of the Ozarks type property. You've got Springfield a little over an hour to the southwest. Kansas City, less than 3 hours to the northwest. St. Louis, less than 3 hours to the northeast. Branson is just south of Springfield. So you've got airports all over the place. If this is to be your vacation property, you've got Springfield actually has a great airport, and Branson has a smaller airport as well. But you can get dirt cheap flights into Kansas City and St. Louis from almost anywhere. Okay, so zooming in a little bit. This is Lebanon over here, right on I-44, and that's actually a pretty good sized regional town as well. To get to the property from Lebanon, as we zoom in a little bit, you'll go west on Highway 64, all the way to Bennett Springs State Park. So that's about 10 or 12 miles, I believe. You'll see signs for the state park. You'll see signs for all the outfitters and canoe rentals and campground places at the state park. So when you're going west on 64, as soon as you see the Niangua River, that's when you're going to take a right onto Marigold Drive. So right here, if you cross the bridge over the river, then you went just 50 feet too far. Just hang around and turn around and go north on Marigold, and you'll follow that all the way up. You get to a few Ys in the road, you're going to stay left at the Y, stay left at the Y, follow it all the way up, and the property actually has direct frontage on Marigold. So let's switch back to the Google map. Okay, so if we look at this, like I said earlier, the yellow lines are the road easements, and this area encompasses the tracks on the Niangua River. This is the little ho-hum campground to the east. Across the river, you have the Maggard Canoe rental and campground. Over here, you've got One-Eyed Willie's. I mean, this, like I said, this is a very popular section of rivers, so this is where you'll find these little outfitters in the summertime. All kinds of people enjoying the river and just having a great time. So as far as, let's zoom in and do this. When you come to the property, it does have direct frontage on Marigold, like I said, over 100 feet. It does not have a driveway cut in off of Marigold, but it does have multiple ways to access the property. So to start with, you'll go west off of Marigold. You'll see the gate here, the main gate, just a little, I guess, farm-style gate that swings open. Pull on in. If you go left, you'll go down the hillside and cut back to the right, and that'll take you through this meadow right to the north side of the property. It actually goes across that, and that's by far the best way to access the river, I think. Or, alternately, you pull through the gate, take an immediate right, and you'll pull through this meadow. There's actually a little trail that gets you to the extreme south end of the property, but if you cut through this field, and you'll probably see the existing trail where a couple of people have driven. The guys are working on getting some gravel out there. They're working on that this month, actually. Pull through the field, hang a right, and follow the trail. That'll lead you right to that southern part of the property. And the reason that that's an important one is that if we switch to the topo map, well, can be certainly confusing, especially if you're not familiar with topo maps. But this area right here is a little valley, and it's actually, I think it's steeper than it shows on this topo map. I don't think that represents it very well. It's fairly steep. So even if you were to put in your own approach off Marigold, and you're certainly welcome to do that, a lot of people prefer that, you can pull onto the property, but you'll still have to negotiate this little valley area, and you'll have to cut a road across that. Alternately, you can just take this road easement to get to the north side of that valley area. And you'll actually find some nice building sites right here, fairly level with just a slight slope. From there, if you wanted to, you could create a trail going still northerly across the property. That goes down a little bit. You've got a big wide area here that flattens out nicely. And then as we continue to the north, ideally, you'd create a trail onto kind of this gentle ridge area. There's actually an existing trail that crosses over all this. That's not an easement though, but if you could tap into that trail, then you could follow that right down here, potentially create a nice building site right here. And the trail actually, the existing trail does go right down into the bottom field. So, I mean, if you're on a four-wheeler or on foot, you could probably just go northerly all the way to the river. Couldn't do it with a vehicle without doing some work on it though. Obviously here it all levels out, and then you've got the direct river frontage there on the north side. So you can see the bottom field, you can see the road easements, see all the river frontage, spectacular section of river. Now in the ground video, I believe we park over here somewhere, actually maybe over here, and then we walk up this little existing trail to kind of an area that flattens out, yet it's above the field. That potentially could be a building site if you wanted one there, because it may be out of that flood zone. This bottom field is going to be in the flood zone, like any bottom field adjacent to a real river. So you definitely don't want to build within the flood zone. But to go south a little bit, get a little higher, you could potentially do that. And actually, on the MapRight program that we're using right now, we've got the full version, so we can put what they call layers on the property. And one of the layers is the FEMA floodplain. So let's do that. So there it's showing basically where the floodplain is, where you would not want to build. So if we zoom in a little bit, I mean, once you get south of that meadow, pretty quickly you're out of that floodplain. So use your own judgment on that. I mean, if you're going to build right on the edge, your mortgage company is probably going to want someone to come out there basically to prove that you're out of the floodplain, and that could potentially be expensive. So, I mean, if you wanted to be 100% okay, get back in this area somewhere, you know, that's an option you'd have. Now this campground here, they actually had a pretty big structure here for decades, right in that floodplain. They had it raised up on concrete 5 or 6 feet, and it was perfectly fine for decades. And then about 2 years ago, we had a huge flood, and it washed their building away. So what you're seeing there is actually the concrete foundation. So you can see their major buildings out of the floodplain. It's kind of cool actually to toy with these floodplain maps, because you can see pretty much everybody has learned their lesson one way or another, and their permanent structures are out of the floodplain. So again, this is the MapRight map. I believe if you get the full version, you can play with the floodplain. You can do different measurements and stuff, which is pretty cool. But either way, if you get the free MapRight app, you can just download that to your phone or your tablet. Then what we can do is we can send you the link for this particular map. What you have to do is we'll email you the link. You open the email on your phone, click on the link within the email, and it will ask if you want to open the link within the app. And to that you'll say yes. And then not only will this map pop up, but there will actually be a little blue or red dot to indicate exactly where you are, because it uses, I believe, the GPS off your phone. So you can open this up. It's helpful when you're driving to the property, and it's awesome when you get to the property because you can be walking right through the property and you'll have that little blue or red dot to show right where you are. Although in this case, not only does this property have a full recent survey, but the boundary lines are actually marked. I mean, we've got T-posts every few hundred feet, so you can, for sure in the wintertime, you can shoot straight down, look straight down your property line, see the posts, know where you are. In the summer, when the leaves are out, it's going to be tougher to see those posts, but they're still there, and it's a great way to tell exactly where you are. Rarely do we have that's called true line marking. Rarely do we have properties marked with true line marking because it's very expensive. But we did do that on these ones because we wanted people to see just exactly how everything was situated. So yeah, multiple building sites. I mean, I know that this looks narrow, and in comparison to how long this property is, I guess that may be true, but in reality, if we were to measure this, going right across here, about 190 feet, I mean, that's wider than most building lots that you find. Most average river lots, I mean, we've been doing this a while, and we look at a lot of different properties. The average river lot, in kind of a river development, might be 100 feet wide. You might get a jumbo lot that's 200 feet wide. So, I don't see this as narrow, especially when it gets wider as you get to the river. I mean, you've just got so much river frontage. You put your tent right here and camp, and I mean, you own 200 feet to each side of you, basically. So, pretty unique situation. I think that's all we'll pack into this video, but feel free to go to InstantAcres.com to see if this property is still available. We store all our videos on YouTube, and we do leave them on because the buyers have requested that we do that so they can continue to watch the videos even after they buy the property. So unfortunately, just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean it's still available. And I realize it's a pain, but all you have to do is go to InstantAcres.com. We never have more than just a small number of properties because we like to handpick everything that we do. So you can know within 30 seconds if this is available or not. If you see it or if you don't see it, unfortunately it's not available, but hopefully we'll have something else that'll work for you. Yeah, pretty spectacular property. Owner financing, no credit check, all that good stuff. You can read all about us at InstantAcres.com. You can give us a call in the office, or you can email us anytime at all at sales@InstantAcres.com.